not indigenous, introduced to help get rid of a snake problem that we had. Well, it got rid of the snake problem, but now we have a mongoose problem. Right? Oh, this is?
Looks like our back garden.
Oh. Hang on, it's the office calling. Good morning. Do I have 7 people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. Alright. Okay. Yeah, remind me to do that. Oh, count the amount of people Alvin has on his Jeep.
This is a kart track, not a road.
Are you up yet? Alright, you guys on the left, can you lean in for me, please? We're good, we got windows, we can do this, look.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all part in the front. You can watch the wheels as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this over here on the right is just all going to tickle you.
Where the hell are you going?
Oh my God.
Okay, they've lost it.
Oh yeah, that's what we call your JC bar. You guys in the UK refer to this as a sleeping policeman?
Yep.
Right, so as I said, the mongoose were introduced to get rid of a snake problem. That worked, we don't have a mongoose problem. However, snake sightings have been recently on the rise again, but those would only be like small little tree snakes or garden snakes and sort of thing. Now, if you guys sitting all the way down at the back, what I should have told you is those seats that you're in, we call those the donkey seats. Because you feel everything back there. Right. So back to the animals, and last but not least, we have a white lion. That is about it for wild animals.
Gun Hill.
Yep, Gun Hill. That's where we're going. Matter of fact, you can see it from here too. Up on top of that crest of that ridge over there, you can see the red fort. That wall don't look straight. So if you look here in front of us and to our east, to the east of us, you're going to see two factories. This first one here, this is Content Sugar Factory, and to the far right, that is Buckley's Sugar Factory. Neither of the two of those are in operation today. Let me explain to you the phases of the sugar industry that we had. In the early days, before any technology and machinery, we used to use windmills. Right? At that time, we had over 600 in Barbados. Barbados is seen as the sugar capital of the Caribbean. Right? Today, we only have one windmill left. We had about 15 sugar factories, maybe a little more. Now we only have 2. Right? We have Andrews Sugar Factory in St. Joseph. We're going to go right by that in a little while. And we also have Port Vale Sugar Factory in St. Thomas, right on the break of St. Thomas and St. James. Yeah, one by one, you see. Buckley's, I think at the time that Buckley's Sugar Factory, the second of the two I just showed you, at the point in time that Buckley's closed its stores, that's when I think everybody really got the scope of how bad it was for the sugar industry. See, Buckley's, being central, was one of the largest sugar producing factories in the island. Alright? So here now, this is St. George. This is one of the 2 centrally located parishes, what some people refer to as boring. Some of you'll probably see in the English countryside, you got the nice big Anglican church in the background there, hidden behind the mahogany trees. You got the cricket field here, right? And then on the adjacent side of the street, what do you know, a little yellow building? That would be the rum shop. Huh? Oh, a day like today, let me tell you, all the rum shops, they have all the beers and stuff like that on sale, and they have their sauce, they're putting in sauce. Well, let's not talk about food at 10 to 9 in the morning, alright? If you take a look up to the top of that ridge, you're going to see the Gun Hill Signal Station. That red fort up there. Right? Everything I'm going to explain to you is alright? So that's one of the signal stations that was built here between 1818 and 1819. Union flag that was set aloft in the mast. Different color flags that obviously send different, relay different messages, have different intentions. Right. Out of these 6 of them, this one was the most important. It's not at the highest elevation by any means, but it had the greatest coverage. You can see from beyond the Grantley Adams Airport in the south-southeasterly direction, right? The entire south coast heading on to the southwest and the south-southwest. Take a look up there. Right? Next up is what they call the British Military Lion. I'll explain this to you here. We're going to go around and you guys can take a walk up, take some pictures if you want. This lion, carved back in 1868 by a Henry A. Wilkinson and 4 volunteers by the name of Brown, Nicholas, Harris, and Williams. Alright? What the lion represents is England. The ball represents the earth. The paw resting on that ball is a symbol of British dominance over the earth back in the 1800s. Alright? Now there's an inscription at the base of the lion. It's written in Latin and it's taken from Psalm 72 and verse 8 of the King James Version. It says, "For we shall have dominion from sea to sea, from shore to shore, until the ends of the earth. Amen." Okay. Now it was in the 80s sometime that they did charge a Rastafarian guy with coming up and defacing the lion. You see, the lion was painted grey with a blue ball, right, prior to this charge. After that, it was repainted ice gold and green, that's red, yellow, and green. Alright? But then after that, the government came back up and painted it the colors that you see it now. Right, see the fruit growing there? That round fruit? That's known as the breadfruit, B-R-E-A-D, breadfruit. Alright, introduced to the islands as a cheap way to feed the slaves. Alright, they say one of them can feed at least 3 of us. Alright, so now today it's a regular in most local dinner table, dinner, lunch. Alright, to explain the fruit, it's much of the consistency of a potato. Anything you can do with a potato, you can do with that. You can boil it, bake it, roast it, fry it, steam it. You can mash it like you would mashed potatoes. As I said, make French fries with it. There's only one problem with it. If you eat too much of that, it's going to have the same effect to you that the beans had on the cowboys. Right? Now this road that you're on is known as Fusiliers Road. Named after the Scots Fusiliers who used to live in this area at one time. They're the ones that did most of these, that had built a lot of these homes back in the day. They're the ones that manned these signal stations as well. Now here's a partial view of what you can see from the signal station. It is up to our left at 11 o'clock, alright? But because of the trees and stuff like that, you don't really get a clear shot. Alright? But this is a view of the interior that you got. So if we go down and around the corner, you're going to see the view of the southeast all the way through south and southwest of the island. Now I told you that we had free education here, right? As a result of that, we're 97% literate. Alright? This building right here is a government funded and operated facility. But I want you guys to read the sign to the front of the building here. Do you see anything wrong with the sign? Oh, start again, David. Yep. Do you see the typo? Yeah. Two letters.
You just read it how you want to read it.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds right.
Yeah, when you start rattling it off, it does sound right. And here you get a view from the city to our right, the entire south coast, all the way up here. That's the airport. If you can see those two white balls up on the coastline up down here. See those two balls right there? That's the meteorological center at the airport. Alright? So you can see from that far the entire south coming down here. Alright? You have the Central Bank of Barbados, Grantley Adams Financial Center. You have the Treasury Building. You have the Hilton and Grand Barbados in this corner over here. That's Needham's Point. The building down here to your right, that looks like a prison. That's actually a school. Alright, this is St. George Secondary School. We just drove by that. Alright, but these schools here are just like the prisons. You have uniforms, you have time schedule, and always a bell. Alright, what we're going to do, we're going to pull ahead, we're going to park. You guys are going to head up to the lion, take some photographs if you want. You're going to come down, I'll fix you guys a drink, and then we'll be out of here. Alright? Anybody have any questions so far?